What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Paul Brown here, and I'm joined by big news Paul Hughes. We are, at the time of recording, 11 days out from the biggest fight of his life. And Paulie, I think every time we've kind of done one of these over the last year, I've had to lead with that line, the biggest fight of your life, because the challenges just keep coming and they keep getting bigger. And this one in a week and a half against Usman Nurmagomedov is absolutely massive.
Yeah, absolutely. No question that this is the biggest one. Big magnitude of a fight. First global MMA show in Dubai. First Road Dubai Champion Series. Very excited.
Yeah, and you've landed in Dubai now, kind of with plenty of time to spare. You're not just rocking up on fight week. When did you get there?
I got here last Saturday, so I'll have 3 full weeks out here.
Oh, amazing. For this training camp, you kind of only were in Ireland fleetingly, I believe. Between you came back from Florida, you were over in Kilcliff doing the guts of this training camp, and back in Ireland for just a short little stint prior to last week, and now you're out there. So, talk to me about how this training camp has been structured and why it's been that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fantastic camp. I wanted to start in Florida. In fact, what I planned to kind of do was a few weeks in Florida, a few weeks in Belfast, a few weeks in Dubai, and then I changed my mind when I was out in Florida because Christmas time was obviously coming up. My plan was, of course, to come home for Christmas, spend it with my family, see my friends, and then when I was out there, I was in my flow. I just realized I have to stay here. I have to just sacrifice this. This is just what I have to do for this moment in time, and that's why I ended up spending a little bit more time there. And then I ended up coming out to Dubai even earlier than I thought because I think that the longer being out here is definitely important. It's been the first time I've come out so early for a fight before a fight, and I'm going to do this every single time. I mean, you cannot beat this acclimatization that I've already had. My routine is absolutely perfect. I know exactly what's going down. I know everything's just perfect, and I think that's very, very important for such a big fight.
From my observations of you now over the last kind of couple of years, it's very rare to me that you're not a person that likes to leave any stones unturned, and you're particularly big on visualization. I mean, I'll break down the fourth wall for anyone who's watching here. When I used to work for Cage Warriors during your last few fights there, what I always found fascinating was like you would rock up. I would see you guys, like I would interact with you guys around weigh-ins and fighter hotel and whatnot. But on fight day, for instance, you would rock up to the venue before the arena opened, and you would get me to show you the exact path that you'll be walking from the dressing room to the arena, what direction you're going to go when you're doing your walk out to the cage, which door you're going to go in. And you would actually walk through that then yourself. And I would watch you do this in an empty arena and just doing it exactly the way you do it 3 hours later, right before you fight. So it was always fascinating to me seeing that you always seem to be just planning ahead, visualizing ahead. And one thing you visualized was these big moments that you're having now in your fights. And it's very evident that that's not for show. This is a thing that you you treasure deeply. You prepare really well, but you visualize this moment. And how exactly do you visualize the fight playing out against Usman?
I I absolutely foresee a knockout. I think I've read this before. I think it's my destiny to knock him out here next week and to just rise to superstardom of the MMA sphere. I think it's just I can feel it within my bones. I can feel it within this preparation. It's it's everything's just going right, and I think that this is just my time to really really make my mark in this sport, not just become the Bellator lightweight champion and one of the faces of PFL, probably the face, but to be one of the biggest superstars in the sport and to forge my own pathway in this sport, to trailblaze my own way. That's what I foreseen whenever I made the decision to come here to PFL. So that's it, where I'm at with it all.
Yeah, and I remember you, like it was around the time you fought Bobby King. I think it was just after that. You had said that you had the call out for Usman Nurmagomedov loaded and ready to go, but obviously he was then matched to fight somebody else. So you're getting that moment now, and the Bellator belt will be on the line. I mean, we're seeing all the headlines and stuff about, the brand vanishing and whatnot, but you'll officially be the Bellator champion should you win on Saturday the 25th. And it's looking like, for all intents and purposes, you might be the final guy to win that belt. I mean, such a a tenured brand. That's going to be a massive achievement for you if you can pull it off.
No question. I mean, I think I'm going to be making a few different pieces of history. I mean, first global MMA show here in Dubai, last ever Bellator title holder, or I guess new title holder, and potentially I would love if they made a PFL Champion Series or a Road to Dubai Champion Series if they made a new belt. I mean, I'm just putting that out there. That was just I said that in my last interview, and I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to start pushing for this. If I can leave there with two belts next week, that'd be even better.
Beautiful. All right. Speaking of leaving there, I mean, let's say you do come out of there, you get your hand raised and whatnot. You're, like I said, you're always a guy that's looking ahead and planning ahead, and you know exactly what you want in this game, and you go out and you do your best to achieve it. Going forward, I mean, you had stated that the plan was to go into the tournament and whatnot. The date of this fight now is most likely happening. We don't have exact dates, but it's most likely happening very close to, the global tournament kicking off. And of course, the landscape there is changing a little bit given, the news we're seeing this week. So, do you know what you would like to do going forward once you get your hand raised in Dubai? Have you thought far ahead as to what you ideally want next?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's going to be no denying that whenever I knock Usman out, I'll be the face of the PFL, or at least one of them. There's no denying that any fight that I have from here forth is going to be big, and that's what I deserve. I'm made for the big nights. I'm here for the big fights, and I see myself selling out venues around the world. But where I would like to do that first is absolutely no question in Belfast. So if I can drag them back to Belfast right after this one, where better for my first defense, and then perhaps maybe stateside after that, back to Dubai. We'll see, but anything I do from here forth is going to be big.
Speaking of stateside, you were stateside outside of training camp recently. You had a nice trip to Boston. Got to see you pulling a few points and attending some basketball games. How did you enjoy that experience?
That was great. I really enjoyed that. That was a really good media tour that the PFL put me on. It was really enjoyable. It was my first time going to an NBA game, to sit like right up courtside to meet Big Porsy, one of the players, and to witness the athleticism of these guys. It was a really special experience. So it's been crazy. It's been a whirlwind few months. It's been fantastic. I'm enjoying every second. I'm just at that point now where I'm just so fucking locked in. I just fucking can't wait. It's everything's come together nice.
Yeah, and I mean, straight after New Year's, we kind of got a bit of a shot in the arm PR wise for the fight when Khabib Nurmagomedov was interviewed, and he was having his say on the likes of yourself, Conor McGregor, and all of the other tremendous fighters to come off these shores. So I mean, you kind of clap back quite well at him instantly, and it's been a little conversation that's been bubbling under, but I believe it gave the show and the fight and the event itself a real good public publicity boost and whatnot. But what what did you make of Khabib's initial comments at the time? What were your initial thoughts?
Honestly, I really didn't care that much. It didn't take me aback too much. I was actually just chilling with a mate at the time that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I looked at it, seen my phone, set it back down. It is what it is. I didn't know how much that was going to blow up. Obviously, it has, and that's really good for marketing. I don't take anything like that personally. This is the fight business. This is the fight game. So, I mean, he can say what he wants. That's probably his actual feelings. I don't really give a flying fuck what his thoughts and feelings are, to be completely honest. I mean, I respect the guy. He was a fantastic champion, great fighter. No, I'm not a huge fan of his. I never was. So I don't really care too much about what he says. So whatever.
Speaking of teams and coaches, I mean, your guys are building a hell of a crew at Fight Academy Ireland, and we're seeing massive growth out of that team, that club. And I did speak briefly to Liam Shannon, your coach, after I made a breakdown video or a preview video for this fight. And I think I'd commented that I'm sure your team have something in store for this guy. And sure enough, Liam reminded me that there's definitely a plan in place to take Usman out. How good has it been to have those guys growing in what they do alongside your growth as a fighter over the past couple of years?
Yeah, it's been really special, to be honest. It has been one of the most rewarding things of this whole journey and meaningful things of this whole journey is to bring my guys with me, because at the end of the day, they're the reason I'm here. I mean, they've gave everything to me since how many months ago I joined Fight Academy, probably about 7 years ago. Fully joined. I had trained there previous to that. I mean, they've given me every ounce of their time, every single day, anything that I've ever needed. The lads have been there for me, like Pat and Shando in particular, and more so in the last few years. Adam has come on board. Adam McGarty, Donner McNally, my boxing coach, who I've trained with for 10 years, also has been a big part of this camp. Was in America with me. It's been really rewarding, really meaningful, and it's it's really nice.
Right. Well, listen, brother, I'm not going to keep you for too much longer today. One last thing to ask you. The other fighters, the other Irish fighters on the card, we've got Kenny McInerney, we've got John Mitchell, and we've got Nathan Kelly. Have you or will you catch up with any of those guys while you're out in Dubai?
I haven't seen any of them. I believe there is. I'm attending a media day tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure who all will be there. It may just be Usman and myself. But I would, of course, like to run into them. If I don't, then I'm sure I'll see them at fight week. And if not, then I'll see them at fight night once we've all got the wins.
We're hoping for a 4-0 Irish win, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay, brother, listen, thanks very much for your time and the very best of luck on the 25th, and I'll see you soon, yeah?
My pleasure. Speak soon, Paul. Have a good
See you,
one.
brother.